Well, the absurdity from the European Union continues, rattled by this German election campaign. And by the way, I wrote about this today over at heaver.news. I'll put a link to the article down below. Really important that we stay in touch via my newsletter, via my Substack. So please do check out the link below to read the article for free. Sign up so that you receive all of my articles directly into your inbox. Now, the sheer meltdown hypocrisy you're seeing from the European Union is quite breathtaking when it comes to Elon Musk's intervention on the German election. After all, and I pointed this out before, the EU establishment said nothing when foreign leaders, an opinion piece, days before the Emmanuel Macron versus Marine Le Pen runoff election in 2022. No outrage whatsoever when it came to George Soros and an anti-Brexit campaign. But look, in terms of Germany, you look at the opinion polls now, and for the first time you are seeing this. The AfD, an anti-EU party campaigning to leave the European Union and the Euro, 21%, just 8 points now behind the Conservatives, the CDU, CSU Conservatives, the SPD, the party of Olaf Scholz there, firmly in third place. And this conversation between Elon Musk and the AfD leader, Alice Weidel, I mean, it's just bonkers to see the response from the European Union. Apparently, a German inquiry into whether this podcast could be an illegal donation. You've got a German magazine attacking a rival for publishing a Musk opinion piece. How's that for free speech? You've got the German government being urged to quit X completely. And of course, many German MPs actually want to just ban the AfD completely, something they've wanted to do for a long time. In terms of the European Union here, you've got EU commissioners here talking, and this is about this interview between Musk and the AfD leader, about it potentially breaching EU law and whether they're going to need to take action. And you've got the likes of Lord Frost there saying and asking the question, do EU technocrats and those here in the UK any longer believe in the basic assumption of democracy? It does make you wonder. And it gets worse, I'm afraid. As the AfD leader there pointed out, 150 EU officials supposedly monitoring this conversation. And this stems from a report by Politico that up to 150 experts, or so-called experts anyway, in Brussels and Seville will be checking whether Musk's live stream interview boosts the AfD or not. Now, in terms of what was said during this interview, if you didn't catch it, well,
energy supply diversification. We cannot run a industrial country like Germany with a still strong manufacturing base. To tell you the truth, our manufacturing production, it peaked in 2018 and it plummeted since then due to high energy costs. And you cannot run a country like that. So therefore, we say, look, we need to be technology open, and we need to reinforce again nuclear power plants, because nuclear energy supply is carbon free, right? So yes. Therefore, we would also reduce our carbon footprint, which is obnoxiously very, very high. And this is the entire irony about it. So our governments, like the Angela Merkel government and the so-called ridiculous traffic light coalition, they enforced a green policy upon our country that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And we would like to go back to technology openness here.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, my recommendation, and I've said this publicly before, is that Germany should not merely reopen the nuclear power plants, but substantially increase the power generation.
The biggest success after that terrible era in our history was to label Adolf Hitler as right and conservative. He was exactly the opposite. He wasn't a conservative. He wasn't a libertarian. He was a communist, socialist guy. Yeah. So full stop, no more comment on that. And we are exactly the opposite. We are a libertarian, conservative party. and see. Look at this during during the discussion of this terrible Hamas attack on Israel. So only the leftish Palestinians, they criticize the policies here. So you have a deeply vested anti-Semitism within the leftish movement. And it was always that case. Why? And Adolf Hitler, he also played with that. He played with the envy of people. Jewish people have been highly educated, very cultivated, and they were successful. There were wealthy people back in Germany then. And then he enforced the envy of the population against these people. And it was a socialist measure taken against them. Look at Stalin. Look at the Soviet Union under Stalin, the very same thing. So he was nothing else than an anti-Semitic socialist. Yeah. And we are exactly the opposite. We are a libertarian conservative party. We are wrongly framed the entire time. We need to free our firms, our companies, the individuals of this obnoxious bureaucratic conditions here. Yeah. Do you know how long it takes, how many days it takes to get a business permit in Germany? Just guess.
As it turns out, I do, because we built...
the big plan.
we built a gigantic car factory, just near Berlin. So we had many challenges. I mean, this is, to be clear, we actually had a lot of support, a lot of local support from the local government, from the national government, and despite all that support, just the sheer number of rules that the people in the government are required to follow is completely crazy, and we had to. I think it was 25,000 pages was our permit. And it had to be all printed on paper.
25,000.
Yes, I think maybe more than that in the end. 25,000, and then there had to be many copies made. So it literally was a truck of paper, because and we're like, surely we can make this electronic. Isn't that better for everyone?
No, not possible. You need to have that on paper in Germany.
And they say, no, it has to be paper. I'm like, this is crazy. In the U.S. elections this year, President Trump won the Electoral College. He also won the popular vote, majority of the people, and the House is Republican and the Senate is Republican. What this says is the American people are demanding change. They're being very clear, and my recommendation for the people in Germany is to do the same. If you are unhappy with the situation, you must vote for change. And that is why I'm really strongly recommending that people vote for AfD. That's my strong recommendation, and I think this is simply the sensible move. And I think Alice Beadle's a very reasonable person, and hopefully people can tell just from this conversation, nothing outrageous is being proposed, just common sense. So in fact, I, as I've said publicly, I think only AfD can save Germany. And I just want to be very clear about that. Only AfD can save Germany. End of story. And people really need to get behind the AfD, and otherwise things are going to get very much worse in Germany.
You saw this endorsement again from Elon Musk of the AfD going into that February election. But I have to say, the reaction, it's beyond hysterical in terms of the reaction you've seen from Brussels, from the EU establishment on all of this. Do let me know what you make of all of that in the comments below though, please guys. I will of course keep bringing you all the latest on this and much more. So please do whack this video a quick thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.